I can't be alone in this. I know I'm not alone
You're not.
in this.
Every other runner is shaking their head right now listening to this
They're
podcast.
like, yes.
Or in their car like, finally, thank you for talking about this.
Yeah, absolutely.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Hey guys, what's up? This is Justine and Nicole. We're taking over for Eric and Erica. We figured we'd give them a day off, so... So we kind of wanted to touch base with Justine because she just ran the Boston Marathon. And we're currently up in North Conway getting ready to run the Revel Half Marathon in the White Mountains. So 3 weeks post-marathon, she's going to go run downhill.
No big deal. It's fine. Everything's fine.
How are we feeling after Boston?
I feel amazing. Boston was phenomenal. It was a lifetime experience. It was better than I could ever have imagined. The weather was perfect. I know a lot of people complained it was really hot, but it was just everything clicked that day for me, which we all know as runners rarely happens. And I was just so thankful that, lifetime achievement, that was the race. Everything just like fell together. So
yeah, you looked awesome. I was at... Where were we? Like right before 20.
Yes.
And you were like cruising. You were just
cruising.
Super comfortable. You were super consistent with your paces. You were really smart. Sounded like you raced really smart.
Yes. Yep. I went up Heartbreak Hill not realizing I ran up Heartbreak Hill.
And I'm sure every runner listening to this is like,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, shut up. Yeah. No, but I got to the top and I was like, like I saw the sign saying, you conquered Heartbreak Hill. And I was like, oh, that was it? Like, I felt like bad, but I mean, everybody was struggling, but like I cruised because like that's what I trained on. The terrain around my home is incredibly hilly. I knew and had heard like Boston was going to be hilly, so that's what I trained for, and it clearly paid off because I'm not going to like pretend that like marathons don't hurt. Marathons hurt. Anything beyond 20, you're like, I'm done. But it just felt like pretty amazing. Like it felt doable. Like it was tough, but it was doable. I got a second wind at like mile 22, 23. Like I was good to go, which just hasn't ever happened for me before. So it was magical. And then of course coming down Boylston and you're crying like a baby and trying to breathe and tell yourself, take this all in. Like it's a lot of emotion. Anybody that has run Boston knows it's a lot, but it was just truly magical.
It's awesome though. And it's a magical unicorn.
Yeah, exactly.
That must be why they have them the unicorn. Right?
Yes, I totally get the whole, yes. Yep. So it was incredible.
It was pretty hot though for that day.
It was unseasonably warm, yes, because when you're training for Boston, obviously you're training through the winter, and like early spring, which here in New England, it can always be a wild card. So yeah, that was probably one of the very first few like warm days we had. But I also had, like all of us runners, stalked the weather. I knew it was going to be warm. I really focused on my electrolytes, my water intake, like probably that whole week leading up to it. Because again, like Boston was my dream. I didn't want to do like anything that was going to like get in the way. So whatever I could control, I did, and then I was like, okay, Boston, like, let's see what you give me, which is kind of how, like, my mantra has been, like, lining up to a race. Like, I've done my work. All right, race, what are you going to give me? Mm-hmm. And can I handle it? Can I tackle it? Can I overcome it?
Right.
Which I always have done because I've always finished. So whether or not that was 5 hours, 4 hours, 3.5, like, I have always finished. So I have always overcome it. Maybe it's not always the prettiest, but I have done it. So, but yeah.
As runners, I think we all have those moments. They're not the prettiest moments, but
no.
some of our race photos show that, which is forever.
Yep.
You have those forever.
Oh, they do. They stay
Yes.
forever.
Yeah, but you were walking pretty fine when you finished. You were looking fine. And
Yep, I think I was on kind of an adrenaline high after that.
Yeah.
But I did. I mean, I felt pretty good. I think I covered like 56,000 steps that day.
Yes.
Between running and then just walking after, which for me and my body, it actually is good to keep walking.
Mm-hmm.
I did that in Chicago. I did it in New York because they're cities. You want to go walking after. You want to go see, so-and-so. But for me, that's always worked well to keep walking after marathon.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, after a couple days, I was like physically and mentally ready to run, but I also know the toll that a marathon takes on your body. So I took I think I took like 12 solid days off of no running.
Nice.
I just walked, which as runners is so hard to do, especially when you feel good. Like you're like, okay, I'm ready to go back out. But we also, us seasoned runners, smart runners know that, our tendons, our ligaments, our muscles, our joints, they need the full recovery.
Right.
So I tried to do that, but, here we are 20 days post, marathon, and I'm lining up for a half, but it's fine, You
got marathon legs. They're just going to carry you. It's going to carry you right to the end.
Right downhill.
That's right. What was your favorite part about Boston?
Oh my gosh. I mean, definitely Boylston, probably any person that's run Boston will tell you that. Just coming down that, Boston is probably one of the first marathons I've run that, like, mile 17, I was thinking to myself, I kind of want to run slower so this lasts longer. Like, what a weird concept. But, like, I was having so much fun. I felt so good. And I was like, this is my Boston. This is what I've dreamed of. Like, literally trying to take in the sights, the smells, the sounds, like, everything about it. Because for me, I've always known Boston is going to be probably a one and done. And especially after how well this Boston went, I can't top it. And I don't care if I went out and ran a 3-hour marathon. With how Boston went for me, I will never be able to top it. So I'm like hanging my hat on Boston and saying, check and moving on to international and
that was your third star.
Yes, that was my
awesome.
third star.
Yes,
so
I have to get into Chicago so we can start traveling internationally.
Yes, and then we'll tackle those international stars.
Yes. Tokyo being our last, I'm sure.
Yes, I think
Justine is very much. We would joke today when we were driving up that we're probably gonna have to pack a specific bag for Justine because the food over there will be quite interesting for her to
very
try.
Interesting palate will be probably required.
It's a type of cuisine.
I'm a little nervous about that, so I might just
bag
pack
full
my
of McDonald's.
Ramen. Yeah.
I said they have noodle shops. You're fine.
Yeah. I don't eat a lot
but
of noodles.
Erica ran Tokyo. She can give us lots of.
That's right. Erica can give us tips
and stuff of
what to
packing
eat, where to eat.
But it looks beautiful. So
yes.
But I think we'll tackle we'll see which one we get into first. I guess I'm like saying it like I know how it's gonna go. Like we're gonna do London first, and then we'll do the I don't know.
We all know these don't go as we plan in our head.
I am a planner. I don't like that. That doesn't work for me. So for Boston, you fundraised.
Yes. I
for
did.
Dana-Farber.
I did.
How would that go?
It was, anybody that's done fundraising knows it's a challenge. So, like, on top of your training, on top of your normal life, on top of working your full-time job, then you've got to find ways and get creative to ask people for a lot of money and repeatedly and month after month. And you don't want to sound repetitive, so you've got to come up with different ways to raise money, whether it be raffles or auctions or in-person events, whatever it might be. Some people get really creative, and I tried, Googling things on what you could do. And ultimately, it really came down to... as a hair salon owner for many, many years, I have a great clientele, and it really came down to, like, my clientele pretty much supported probably 80% of my fundraising.
That's awesome.
They were so supportive, so excited for me. So I have a really great, connection with them, and I knew that. I also had a friend that works for a company that will match donations.
Oh.
So my plan of attack was to, get as much cash as I could and, give it to them, and their company would turn around and match that. And that,
Wow.
it was a super, super powerful tool in my toolbox that I knew I could use, because not everybody has access to that. So I was super thankful for that. I did meet my fundraising goal. It hasn't shown up online. I know a few people have asked, like, did you reach your goal? Like, yes, it hasn't shown up, but corporate donations take time. They have to go through so many hoops. So, yes, Dana-Farber has already acknowledged, like, yes, we see, what you have raised, and this company is a very well-known donor to our, to our fundraising, so we know it's coming.
Right.
So, yes, I am considered, like, you met your, check off, you've met your goal. So
Awesome.
But yeah, it's a lot of work. Something
It is.
I was very passionate about to do for, Jay and my sister-in-law Kelly. Dana-Farber is doing amazing things in the cancer research world. So it was something that meant something to me rather than just finding like a random charity that sounded good. This one actually meant something. So when you're raising money for something that actually means something that's near and dear to your heart, it flows a little better rather than pretending like, oh, this is a really great organization. People are just a little more, they can see it. Like, you have passion behind, why you're asking for money. So that made a huge difference too. Yeah. But yeah, it was a good experience. It put me outside my comfort zone for a lot of different ways. Yeah. So yeah. It was great.
You hosted a run to do it.
Yes.
That was a lot of fun.
Yes.
You did raffles and you had donuts. So I was definitely there for that.
Yes, my donuts for Dana.
Yes.
I got creative.
That was good marketing on your end. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm just super thankful for all the connections I've acquired throughout life. So like, I know the donut company, that donated the donuts for it, and just different people I've met along through life were just so gracious to actually step up and be able to help support me in this. So it was a really big success.
Yeah, we're very proud of you. You killed it at Boston and did a great job fundraising. And I know how thankful and grateful Jay is for you, and even Kelly for doing everything that you did to raise money, make sure that they get their treatments and continue kicking cancer's butt.
That's right. That is the goal.
Yeah.
We will find a cure.
That is right. We will find a cure. Hopefully one day.
Yes. But let's talk about packing for a race, because this is something all of us runners have done. I'm sure at least once in your life you have had to pack up for a race. We were talking about it on the ride up, and we had a 2-hour ride up to this Revel race. And does anybody else feel like when they're packing for a race that they're going to pack like they're going to a third world country where there will be no water? There will be no socks. There will be no extra shoes. There will be no extra clothes, no Band-Aids, no Tylenol, nothing.
You were literally in the middle of being dropped, right in the like in combat, just dropped in the middle of a field, and you have no access to anything. It feels like that.
That's how I pack. I pack like I need everything in the
or like you're broke and you can't afford to buy a snack or coffee or dinner.
Yeah, I will in no way, shape, or form buy a $2 bottle of water. I better pack 3. Yes.
We have a case in the back of the car.
Yes. That is how I pack for a race. I can't be alone in this. I know I'm not alone
You're not.
in this.
Every other runner is shaking their head right now listening to this podcast.
Like, yes.
Or in their car like, finally, thank you for talking about this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or when we're traveling, like, right? Like, it's not just a car ride. When you pack to fly.
Oh,
and that's how we ended up talking about going international.
Yes.
Like, it's wild. We went to Philly, which wasn't even a long flight.
No.
And I repacked my bag, I think 3 or 4 times.
Oh, easily.
And I think Daniel and I had just started dating, and he was like, what are you doing? And I was like, you don't even know.
Please don't watch me pack because it's a little scary.
He was laying in bed, and he was like, I'm not even going to say anything because we just started dating. And He learned. He's learned. But I'm like, oh my God, I don't even know what's in this bag.
No.
But I repacked it 3 times.
Yes.
And it's like
more.
Philly has nothing, right? Like there's no stores, there's no nothing.
They don't exist. If
everything has to come from my house.
Yes. Otherwise, it just doesn't exist. Like food, snacks, no way. So, yeah, you better pack it all and then pack up a backup in case you forgot that you packed that. So
Wear
make sure
your running clothes on the airplane
Yes.
or even in the car in case your bag flies out of the truck.
Exactly. I mean, listen, all these scenarios run through my head
Fact.
when I am packing for a run, whether it be an hour drive, a 2-hour drive, or we're taking a plane.
Correct. I think when it's a plane, it's way worse, right? Because then they could lose your luggage.
Well, I mean, you're going farther on a plane,
Right.
therefore the odds of you being dropped in Siberia are way greater. And so you just need more stuff.
Please, where did you even get Siberia?
These are where my mind goes.
Okay. Like now we're in the desert, which is a whole slew of new items that you now need in your bag, ma'am.
That's why we're not running the marathon in Antarctica. I wouldn't have enough bags to go to that race. So
That sounds terrible, by the way.
Not happening.
Like that, every year I see that clip on Instagram and I'm like, this looks awful. But there's literally 30 people that run it.
Yeah.
I want to say, maybe.
Yeah, I know a girl this year that actually ran it, and her pictures looked phenomenal. I mean, you had penguin crossing. Who wouldn't stop to see an adorable little penguin? I mean,
Justine wants to pet every dog. Now she's in Antarctica. Like,
I'd be petting all the penguins.
So can I just... we were talking about how they're going to add a 7-star.
Yes.
And it's probably going to be in Australia, which I don't want to go. She's trying to convince me to go. I don't want to go. Everything in Australia kills you, by the way.
A koala.
Okay, this is where I was going with this. Because you can't just hug a koala. It's literally going to, like, the claws are just ridiculous. And the whole time she's like, I just want to hug a koala. And I'm like, you can't do that. You can't just go to a koala and be like, you're so cuddly. It's literally going to rip like your cords out of your throat. Like, you can't even do that.
I mean, that was aggressive, but okay.
Oh my God. But that's so true. You're hugging the koala.
Yes,
and it's like,
I'm going to slash your throat.
Correct. And now you can't run because your throat is slashed.
It's fine. I'll get some stitches. I'll be good to go. Run and shake these things off.
Put some dirt on it.
Yes, put some
Meanwhile,
dirt on
she's going by the tree that can cut you and kill you.
Yes.
She runs into a giant spider on the sidewalk and a snake in a toilet. That's fine.
It's fine.
Okay. Yeah, we're not going. I wanted it. I think there was a competition between Australia and Africa, and I wanted it to be in Africa because I would have rather have gone on safari.
Because she'd rather be chased by lions, but that's fine. I mean, cheetahs, let's be real, they are faster than us. So, I mean,
if I'm going to go, I'm going by a cheetah, not a koala. Right. I mean, come on. Oh my God.
All right.
Yeah. Okay. Wow. All right. Koala. I'm now going to get you a stuffed koala for your birthday.
Yes.
Your birthday is coming up.
Yes.
It is on Saturday. It is your birthday month also.
It is my birthday month.
We love this for you.
Holiday.
Correct. Mine is too. It's
yes.
Yeah,
I mean,
we
birthdays just deserve to be celebrated.
I definitely
for
agree with that.
Solid 30 days.
Love birthdays.
Yeah.
I think they're awesome.
Why not?
Celebrate the month and day that you were born and brought into this world?
You are welcome, world, that I am here, and especially now for your entertainment. So I deserve to be celebrated.
We are very humble over here at On the Runs when we take over. Eric edited this whole thing and just laughed the entire time. He was like, this is delightful to edit. Gosh. Hopefully he's at home and not like on a plane or at work editing this.
Burst out laughing. Yeah, this would be great.
That's too funny. Yeah, I don't know. But hopefully we have everything for tomorrow. So
yeah, I mean, here's hoping. I still feel like I probably forgot something because, the first 3 times I packed the bag, I'm sure I didn't get everything.
Correct.
But,
that's all right, though.
We're going to just send it and see how it goes.
It's 2 hours at 6 a.m.
Yeah.
Start at 6 a.m. And Justine's very happy about it. So.
All right. I can't be the only runner in here that is like...
In here? There's nobody else in here.
I was talking generically in this podcast.
You don't need to yell. Where I'm sitting right here. It's rude, ma'am. Please stop yelling at me.
I cannot be the only runner that despises early morning starts. And this one, to be fair, is probably the earliest because I haven't done a Disney race. This is the earliest.
She won't do it, and I keep trying to convince her. She will not do it.
No, I don't want to get up in the middle of the night to run. I love running. I love me some running, but I'm not getting up in the middle of the night when your body is supposed to be sleeping to go run 13 miles.
Some people do it to run 26. I don't know what you want me to
No, thank you. But yeah, the 6 a.m. start is kind of for the birds. I mean,
our alarm is now set for 3:30.
That's a disgusting time to wake up.
We were sitting at the bar for eating dinner. And she's like, what time do you want to get up? And 3:30. And she was like, "Brr."
Yeah.
Like-
It's absolutely appalling that we should have to get up. The sun isn't even up, so why should I be up? The birds aren't even, no life is up at that time of day.
We can't even
Why
find
am
coffee.
I up? Coffee is not even up. Okay, so
We had
it
to
is
go to the gas station to make
unacceptable.
sure we had coffee for the morning because the hotel
Yes.
doesn't even have coffee until 7.
No, because that's when normal, reasonable people wake up to start their day.
Yeah.
Not,
Okay.
while the bats
I mean,
are out flying.
I'm so dramatic. The bats.
I know I'm
This
not
is
the only
Jumanji.
one. I know everybody likes to label runners as, they're so motivated. They get up early in the morning. No, I go running at like 9, 10 a.m. That's my
That's early for you.
Let's get up
'cause
and
you're
start
an
the
evening
day.
runner. And
I
I've actually
love an
started to
evening.
become an evening runner, which works for our marriage.
Oh, yes. I love a good evening run.
You
Give
love
me
a good evening race. Like that's your
Yes.
like bread and honey right there.
It
like
is. Like find me a good 5, 6 p.m. race.
Yeah.
I am there.
Right.
Absolutely. All day long. All day long. We can party till midnight. Like I am there.
Yeah, oh, that's cute. You're in bed by 8:30.
I mean, shh.
Race is over at 6 p.m. She's like, see ya.
I gotta go to bed. Take it out for my 9 a.m. run.
Okay. Oh my God.
Oh.
Yeah. I don't know.
But
We'll
listen,
see.
mid-morning runners, where are you at? Come on, I'm not the only one.
No, I think we've had this conversation even with Eric and Erica. They've said that they're not morning runners.
No.
Eric is trying to be. He's doing so good with his
Oh,
running
Good job, Eric.
as I'm coaching him, and he killed the Eastern States 20 miler.
Yes.
And now he's training for the Loon Mountain race.
Oh man.
So I'm
that's
like, I'm
gnarly.
new to that. I don't know what I'm doing. So I'm like,
Yeah.
trying to like do a lot of research and make sure he's got hill training and all and
Yeah,
working out a little bit more.
exactly.
But
Yep.
he's like, I want to be a morning runner. So he sometimes has to get up early because he has 3 children.
Listen, good on you, Eric. I applaud you.
Yeah,
I really
he's doing
do.
great.
Like that is, I mean, there have been plenty of training sessions where I've had to get up early, and I question my life choices. But now I'm at the point.
Oh,
where...
wait till tomorrow. I can't talk to her tomorrow morning. I can't.
Yeah, don't talk to me
No,
before 6 a.m.
she can't do it. I will get up, I will do my thing, and I will not speak to her until we're probably getting ready to run.
Right, and there's nothing wrong with that. Neither one of us are offended.
I learned the hard way.
We
so
know how this goes. We don't need that morning chit chat to be polite. Like, nope. Let's do our thing, and I'll see you there.
while we're literally side by side in the same car in the same bus.
Yeah.
So don't talk to me.
Yeah.
We're doing this by
I'll
ourselves.
let you know when I'm ready, and you'll know when I'm ready.
Yeah, I know when you're ready. I'm very well aware. How long we've been married? 3 years? Like, yeah, I'm well aware.
Yeah, we'll be on the honeymoon stage.
we're past that. That's cute though. I think people know we're well past that.
Yes,
Oh my
yes.
God.
Oh man.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see how tomorrow goes though.
Yes,
I think it'll
I'm
be really
excited.
fun.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
Like,
This
yeah.
is the first one that they've had here, so I think a lot of people they say it's
Yeah.
like the first and last that they're going to do. It's like a once in a lifetime, but I think if it goes really well, they'll probably have it again.
100% see Rebel doing that, yes.
Yeah.
And here's something else I want to talk about. Okay, runners, you can all weigh in the comments. Do you count a Revel race for your, like, PR? So this is, like, a hot topic, red button subject. Everybody's like, ooh, it's downhill. That doesn't count. But let's like, step it back a minute. That takes way more quad strength than the average runner has.
Yeah.
Because we're used to either flat
Right.
or downhill
Right.
or, a moderation of both. So if anything in my book, I think it counts like extra because you were able to, especially depending on the grade of it, run for 13 miles
Yeah.
while in kind of like that braking stance.
Well, yeah, especially when you're like going downhill and you're moving back because you're trying
Yeah.
not to move yourself too forward.
you can't like propel yourself too
Right,
fast.
right.
And obviously it's a long distance, so you have to pace yourself. So, again, as runners, you do you. If it works for you, have at it. But I think a general consensus should just be like, every race counts.
Yeah.
And I don't care if it's uphill, if it's downhill, if it's flat.
Well, when I did Hollis Fast 5K,
Yes,
like people
that's
would,
another one.
I literally had one person tell me like, I don't remember if it was like to my face or
Yeah.
like in a message or what it was, but
Yep.
like that doesn't count as your PR because it was downhill. And I'm like,
Right.
I worked hard for that. Like I do a
Exactly.
lot of work for it.
100%. And who's to tell you if that counts as your PR
But if
or
these
not?
are Boston qualifiers,
Exactly.
Why
Yes.
can't they be
and Revel
PRs?
is. So,
It is, yeah.
quite honestly, if the USATF
Yep.
is who certifies it, if they say it counts, then it counts in my book.
Right.
But really, any race that you line up and you finish, it counts. And I don't care what the elevation is.
Right. Yeah, I don't really know who makes those rules, but
No, make your own rules.
well, that's the thing.
That's
And
where
I
I'm
don't
at
think
in
like
my
this
running.
isn't elite status either, right? Like we're not
Right.
all like trying
I'm
to
not getting paid.
signed or anything.
Yeah, no. You know, if you're paying me lots of money, okay, I'll follow your rules and do what you say. But that's not happening. So
Right.
I'm gonna make my own rules and do what works for me. And I think every runner should focus on that.
Yeah.
And don't get wrapped up in what other people are saying, what other people are posting, what social media says.
Yeah.
You know, you do you. And any runner that lines up to a start line has worked hard to get there. So
I think that's so hard now
Don't
with
negate
social
that.
media. I remember when I started running, oh my God, like 20 years ago.
Yep.
Like, well, my 20-year high school reunion's coming up, which is, wow. But I did run in high school. But when I started actually, I call it competitively running, but I don't know if that's what it's called. But when I started running races, I had like a stopwatch.
Yeah.
And there was no social media. There was no like influencers and all this stuff. And now it's, if, you know, in this, I think this is like a societal thing that if
Yes.
you're not running, you know, at this certain pace, and I'm not saying it's anyone's fault, it's just my own thing, like I'm not running fast enough, I'm not good enough, I'm not going to do this, I'm not going to do that, and then it gets in my head and my anxiety kicks in when I'm not matching my paces with what my coach gives me, and I'm like, shit, well, what am I going to do?
Right.
I'm not doing it right, and I want to like cry, and I want to do that, and I'm like, stop. Like, we put so much pressure on ourselves because of what the world shows, and that's just the way it is. That's never going to go away.
No.
That's just always, and I love that people share that stuff because I want to know, how was your run? Did it suck? Do you need some extra like oomph and motivation, and do you need us to pick you up and give you some really good comments and you know, be like, listen, every run that sucks is probably better than the good ones, because that's where you learn the most. That's what teaches you, and you got yourself out the door, and you're disciplining yourself to get back up the next day and do it again.
Absolutely.
And I think that community is so strong and great, but I do think that that's the downside to social media, right?
Yeah.
It's like the perfect family, the perfect relationship, the perfect everything is out there. And, you know, those of you, you know, that, you know, like, that's not true, or, you know, you had a shitty run, but you just don't want to talk about it. And I've had those where I'm like, I'm not going to say anything about that because I don't want people to know that. And so I just think it's, you know, I think that pressure you put on yourself is all from that social media. And I'm like, I miss the days of my stopwatch when I didn't have, you know, have to like post it. I don't have to, but I enjoy it. I enjoy it, especially as a coach. And I like to, you know, get athletes from, you know, like, oh, I see that you're out there working, or your athletes are doing really well. I want to join that, and I want to be part of that team, and just, you know, being that cheerleader for everybody. That's what I love about the community, and making friends that aren't even in this. Like, I have friends on there that I've never even met that I've talked to for years and been like a good cheerleader for me, you know, from other states. And it's awesome. But I do think it's just always the downfall. There's always a downfall to stuff like that.
There is, yeah. And I think this is just your reminder, you know, which, you know, many people say about social media, but that's just a snippet. You know, just remember that's a snippet. That's a... You know, for most of us, we want the good angle. We want the best, you know, whatever looks the best, you know. But I've also tried to, like, reprogram my brain and, like, you know, if I want to capture a moment, whether it be a run or a personal thing, I look more at the moment and not, ooh, that wasn't the best angle, or ooh, that lighting makes me look XYZ. Like, if there's a moment and you want to share it on social media for the world to see, which is, you know, pretty much that's what social media is. You're putting something out there for the world to see.
Right.
And if you're proud of it, or you're happy, or you're needing help with something, you know, just refocus and focus on why you're posting, and not look at those little nitpicking things of like, ooh, that's not the greatest lighting. Because those things don't matter. If there's something you want to share on social media, then share it, you know? And that's
a good reminder.
It is.
I like the why. Like, why am I posting this? Is there a reason behind why I'm doing it? If you're just doing it to be like, I ran 7 miles, cool. That's your reason, right? Like, you're just posting because you wanted to post it.
Yep.
If you're posting it because you're like, I do need some help today because I feel like I sucked at my run and I couldn't get over the, you know, like, there's sometimes your legs just can't turn over enough to get that speed.
Yep.
Like sometimes you're just like, I just need that community. And
Yes.
there's nothing wrong with
100%.
that.
And that's where we should all be uplifting.
Right.
Uplifting to each other,
Yeah.
you know, and if you don't have something nice to say, like, it's a good old fashioned rule. If you have nothing nice to say, don't say anything at all.
Or don't look at anybody's stuff if you don't want to.
Exactly. If, and if these are accounts that are, that's been my biggest thing with, social media lately. If these accounts are not making me happy, are not motivating me, why am I following them?
Right.
Are they more of an aggravation or a deterrent to something, or are they actually uplifting me each day? So, I mean, I'm careful about what I put in front of me and what I'm scrolling through, because all of us have been there. You go down that dark hole of comparison.
Yep.
Oh, they're doing this, they're doing that. Wow, wow, wow. And then all of a sudden you're feeling like crap about yourself.
Mm-hmm. Oh, definitely.
But you just conquered the day, whether you were going to work, taking care of your kids and family, whether you went out for that run when you didn't feel like, you conquered an entire day, but you've forgotten all that because you've just gone down that hole of comparing, well, I didn't do this, so,
especially as a woman. I feel like women do that way more than men do.
Yes, we do. Yeah, it's
that's a societal thing.
Yeah.
Like from day one, I feel like women are just pitted against each other, and we don't even stand a chance. And I love social media for that aspect of like women should just be coming together.
Yeah.
And like if I see something a woman's wearing, like the other day I was like, I really like your sweater, and she was like, thank you, and you could just tell it made her day.
Yes.
And it's just like those little things, smiling at each other and being kind. And I do feel like since COVID and everybody was so sequestered into their houses that now you have people that are just, I feel like the world is so segregated now, and people are just like, I don't know, not mean, but just people are just like, I don't know, not nice anymore. And
they're not.
They're
really nasty.
And I think like social media and being behind a computer makes people feel a little more powerful than normal. So I think, we all just have to remember to be nice to each other, and that's, you don't have to like anybody, but just be respectful. And like the golden rule we all learned in kindergarten, which I'm trying to teach my son, is, we teach, you do unto others that you want them to do to you.
Yes. 100%.
And I think the nice thing with social media is you don't have to follow people and be friends with them.
Exactly.
That's, if you don't want to do that, then there's an unfriend button, there's an unfollow button, and we just don't have to look.
No, you don't. Yeah, exactly. That's the freedom of social media. You are in charge of what content you're putting in front of you. Yeah. So, do with that, as you will. And we all know we all spend time on social media. Right. So what do you want that time to be, festering in you? Do you want it to be joy or inspiration or happiness or whatever, or growth? Or do you want it to be, oh, I'm not good enough. Oh, I didn't do that. Oh.
And it's so easy to fall down that rabbit hole. It is. So easy.
100%.
And I think when Instagram became this big thing for influencers, and, you see all these influencers making more money than I'll ever see in my entire life. Yes. You're like, I did something wrong with my life, but I'm also knowing like I make a difference every day in what I do, just like you do, just like, everyone else that, has like, I don't want to be rude, but real jobs that, do, what I mean? Like, and I'm sure at some point they're going to figure out that they need to go and go to school or get a job that like contributes to society or whatever it is.
100%.
But I just think it's, more women tend to be nastier to each other, and that's just, I feel like we're wired that way. And I just think like that's just a society thing that you're just, that's your enemy. And it's like, well, it's not, it's not.
And women are so incredibly strong that we should be, strengthening one another, because, oh man, when you get women together and they are all on the same page about something, whatever it may be, it is powerful.
Oh, it really
There
is.
is something
100%.
about women standing together. Yeah. And we just need to remember that more on whatever subject it might be. It can have such a variety.
I mean, look at the Me Too movement. I mean, that was huge. Yeah. I mean, all of the things that came from that whole movement was amazing and wonderful for just the female community in general of sexual assault and harassment and just different things. And hopefully that just continues and spills over into other things, Yeah. So.
Yeah. And as you see at at any of these events, the majority is women. Yeah. It's these women coming together. I do believe women can change the world if we could all just get a little more in sync.
And it's hard. It's just so competitive, I feel like, as women, because I think women are more wired to feel jealous and intimidated by one another. And, well, she's faster and prettier and smarter. And I'm not pretty like that, or I don't wear clothes like that, and she does, and she looks good in heels and I don't, and she went to law school and I didn't go to law school, or and we're always just in comparison with one another, where I think we all bring something really special to the table.
Absolutely.
And all of us do the same thing. We all give birth. We all get our periods. We all
yes.
We are all bitchy at some time.
We
We've
have
all
hormone
talked behind somebody's
swings.
back. We've all done stupid stuff where
We've all been FBI agents and found out exactly
literally
where, when, and how that incident happened.
That is correct.
That is a gift
Turn into a
to
CIA
women.
agent. I didn't like that, but here we are.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Stop looking at it as negative. It is a gift.
Okay. Well, when I was doing it, it was negative. I will own that part of it. That when I was doing it, it was for not such good reasons.
Right.
So, but
And we've all been there too.
Yeah.
So,
That's right. It's not like I liked the boy and I was like, ooh, I want to know his number. Because then I would have texted you and Ashley, my
We
brother's
would've
girlfriend, and been
found
like,
it.
and you guys would have found it together in
Yes,
5 seconds, like with his
exactly.
first name.
Yeah.
And it would have been like John or something.
Most generic name, but
Correct.
don't worry.
That's
I
right.
will find you.
No gay creeper. Was that wedding crashers?
Yes.
I'll find
That
you.
was totally a wedding crash.
It was. Good job. That was a good reference. I like that for you.
Oh, man.
Oh my God. The movie, I'm proud of you, actually. You don't ever do movie references,
I don't.
which is hilarious because
when I
your
do.
husband and I do.
Yes.
And then, so Daniel and I will.
Yep.
And now he's on bird sounds in our house. We have bird sounds.
I could totally win that one.
Okay. He has an app on his phone.
Okay,
so
that's not
There's
fair.
a really funny story behind this because he forgot to pick up crackers at the grocery store for Jackson.
Okay.
And Jackson was like, you don't have my crackers? So, of course, my boyfriend, being who he is a storyteller
Oh, Mr.
and
Daniel.
will literally tell a story for 20 minutes. And so he goes, so Jackson, you see, when I was at the store, there was a seagull. And his name is Rupert, but I call him Rufus because
Oh, goodness.
he just is like, no, it's Rupert. I'm like, it's Rufus. But he's like, it was Rupert. And he flew down and he grabbed the last box of club crackers from the shelf that I was going to get you. So there's no club crackers. And then he called me on the bird phone and told me this. And so then he leaves. So I think he went to work or something. And Jackson dead eye looked at me and goes, Mom, birds just take your food. They don't bring it back and they don't call on phones. And I'm like, you're almost 5. Like, how do you not believe this story? It was the funniest thing. So now he has like all the kids are in on this.
Okay.
So now they're all singing. You used to call me on my bird phone. So his
That's
daughter
good.
was like, late night when you're in the bird bath or something like that. And I'm like, they're like
that's
coming up with
cute.
verses. It is the funniest thing. And so
That's
now
amazing.
one night we were sitting at dinner and he downloaded an app to make bird sounds.
Yes, that is a thing.
And Ayla now has the same app. So we went around the table and each picked a bird.
boy.
And now we all have one. Mine's Chuck something, but I just liked it because his name is Chuck.
Okay, we've got a Chuck bird. All right. I'll have to do some research on this, but
So
I
now
love
it's
this
all,
for you.
This is his new bit. This and yeah,
okay.
just
All right.
yeah. So this is my life. I live with a house of birds now.
All right. I mean, let's tune in next week and see who she lives with.
Who she lives with.
Well,
I don't even live with
I'm
them yet.
assuming that birds will change. So.
I hope God. No. These birds are not going to change. I don't want birds in my house.
They have flown the coop.
I don't want birds in my house. I
they
have
cuckoo
children.
birds?
I don't have birds. I don't want birds in my house. I have a dog. That's as far as we go.
Yes, yeah.
We have a dog and a water frog. That's as far as we go.
No creepy crawlies.
No creepy crawlies. We don't do that.
No,
we really
absolutely
don't.
not.
But the kids do a running series, which is super cool. They do the Healthy Kids one.
I just signed up my niece in Landon for that.
Oh, you
they
did?
do one in Concord.
Oh, cool.
Yes.
The
I'm
kids love it.
excited.
So Jackson does the 75-yard. Liam, which I think Landon will probably do, does the half mile.
His is a mile.
Oh, how old is he again?
He'll be 10.
Oh, okay. So Ayla does the 1 mile.
Yep.
So
Yep.
she's in first place right now.
Oh, that's
She did an 8-minute mile her first one. She did an 8:04 the last one.
Wow.
She is
Ooh, she's
crushing
fast.
this. She has
That's
long legs.
awesome.
That's why. But
Oh.
Liam loves it. But his Jackson's first one, he fell like the first time, and Liam did too. But
yeah.
they got right back up and did the whole
Good.
thing,
Oh,
and it
that's
was
the
the
important
kids
part.
love it. But they come to the track with me, and they want to race me, and
Yeah.
they want to do all that stuff. So it's been really cool.
Oh,
And then
I think this is so great for the kids.
it really is.
Yeah.
It
Because
really
it's
is.
just, running is such a good way for these kids in so many different ways. It's a great way for them to make new friends, to try new things,
Yep.
to, kind of learn to push their bodies a little bit, to move their bodies.
Definitely.
And, we all, as runners, know that feeling of like, oh, that was really good after a run.
Oh, yeah.
And so think these little kids are probably going to feel the same type of gratification, whether it be like, wow, that was really far, but I did it, or that was really hard, I did it, you know. So I just love that they actually have these series, for us runners that want to share our passion with our children or other young kids. I'm really looking forward to trying that with them.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Lot of fun.
It's really cool. Yeah, and Ayla does Girls on the Run, which is like she's like just doing it all. But they train for a 5K, and then in June they do a 5K.
Oh, that's actually a decent distance for that age.
And like even right now, she's like, I can do 8. I think she has to do 19 laps.
Okay.
And right now she's like, I'm up to 17. I'm like, wow, girl, like that's amazing.
That's awesome.
But then they get to pick a 5K buddy, so she and I are actually going to do it together.
Oh, that's
so that'll be super fun. It'll be so much fun. We're very excited.
Yes.
So yeah,
and that's huge for these kids.
It is, but she feels like a sense of accomplishment because Daniel just ran his first 5K.
Yes,
which
so
I'm
he knows that
so
feeling.
pretty. I'm very proud of him.
Yes,
but of course,
well
the first
done,
race
Daniel.
he ran, which didn't happen for me or for you, he got a medal. So now, he has his medal. But when he was finishing, I had planned for the kids to run with him because they had enough space.
Yeah.
And so whoever works at Loco gave the kids medals.
Oh,
which was super cute. But Ayla was
cute.
like, I don't want one because I didn't earn it. And part of me loves that thought process because she wants to take that medal and be like, I ran all 3.1 miles for this. This is mine. I earned it.
Yes.
And Jackson's little, he doesn't know. And it's, which is fine. Either way is fine. It's just very interesting to see that thought process with her.
Right. And just the difference. I mean, they're only a few years apart. Yeah. So, I mean, just the difference between, and but he'll grow up as that as an example. Yep, so
definitely. I mean, he has his own medals that he's earned, but
of course he has.
Yep. So Daniel ran his first 5K. I was very proud of him. He did great. He ran the whole time, and he ran it in 30 minutes and 30 seconds or something.
That's amazing.
He did so
especially
good
for your first.
Yeah.
Man,
he did so good. He's going to run another one, and then I think he's going to do a half in the fall.
So great.
So,
I love seeing people like enjoy running or like pick it up. Like, ooh, I kind of like this.
Yeah.
Ooh, I kind of like it more. Oh, I
at first it kind of sucks. You're like, this sucks. I don't want to do this.
Yes.
And then I'm like, okay, and then we'll go to the track together because, I mean, right now, because I was training for tomorrow, I couldn't really, like run his paces with him. And I would have workouts, so we'd go to the track and he would do his own. And then on my easy runs or when we're done, we would run together. But it was good bonding time. I really think that you find those things as a couple that bring you closer together, and it's not me gone for 2 hours. We're together and we're doing it together, and
that's so cool.
So it's been awesome to see him definitely grow as a runner. I'm excited to see where it goes for him.
Oh, absolutely. Again, it's so exciting to see people get into it and see what journey running brings them.
Yeah.
And some people I'm good with one race a year.
Right.
Okay.
It's usually like a turkey trot or something fun like that they do with their family. Right. Which is awesome.
And then there's other of us, nuts that are like, I would like to race every weekend, please. So,
I don't do that anymore.
It's just fun to see the variation of everything in between.
Definitely.
Is the bug going to bite really deep?
Right.
Or is it just nibbling?
How far is that koala getting you? It's getting you real deep, isn't it?
Right.
Those marsupials will really get you.
Oh, yes. But that is awesome.
Yeah. So hopefully it sticks, and she does cheer, and Liam does soccer, and Jackson's doing baseball, and they're just very active. Which I really
These
love.
Kids need it.
Yeah, they do.
Need it.
Why did you start running? I know you told the story last time about it.
I touched a bit on it with my
Okay, actually, let's phrase it this way. Why do you continue to run?
Oh, there's a good one. I continue to run because I love the feeling that running gives me. And it gives me a feeling different times. Like sometimes it's the feeling of accomplishment.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's the feeling of unwinding from my day and like letting something go.
Because you're running at 8 p.m.
I mean, yeah. Sometimes that's why it's best to end your day with a run versus starting your day with a run. I mean, you're starting your day like half awake, half running. Like that just doesn't sound like I'd rather like unwind from my day running.
Okay. To each his own.
Yes. Yep. So I would say for a lot of different reasons, I keep running. Mental health, physical health, the joy it brings me, the joy racing brings me. So therefore with racing comes training. So they both go hand in hand. So you can't do one and not the other.
Right.
So yeah, there's many aspects why I continue, but I would say probably mental health is probably the number one for me.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I think of training like homework, right? And then like the actual race is the test.
Yeah.
To see if you got the gams, to do what you set out to do.
Yep.
And not every race is going to be a PR. Not every race you're going out. Like for, I think Eastern States, it was a workout for me.
Yeah. Yep. Same.
But tomorrow I'm going for a PR. And if I don't get it, it's not the end of the world. I think I've learned that over the last couple of years.
Yeah.
Because I did get so hard on myself. And that caused so much more stress for me than I needed.
Yeah.
But for me, it's definitely mental health. I know I need to run in order to sustain some sort of saneness.
Yep. Yes.
And for me, when I started, it was like my one rule was to not be like my mother. So I wanted to make sure that I was doing things kind of completely opposite. But when I started to run, it was really cathartic and it's just me and the road and I control everything out there, how fast I'm running, the music I'm listening to, just everything out there. And it brings 100%. Me a lot of joy. I think I was telling you earlier that Nicole, my coach, always sends me questions, which I really like because they're very insightful and really make you think about it. And so some of the questions are like, what do you expect to go wrong on your race? And how can you combat that? And what are you going to eat? What time do you need to get up? What do you need to bring with you? How are you going to fuel? And one of the best questions she asks is what are you most proud of from this training cycle? And every time it just makes me think. And what she says is take 20 minutes by yourself, sit down, nothing on, nothing going on, and write the answers. Ooh, and I'll just start writing. And I 30 minutes later, I'm like, I'm still typing.
Yeah.
But I was very proud of just how much fun I had.
Yes.
And how we can get so caught up. I mean, you just did 3 marathons in one calendar year. That burns you out so much.
It does.
I was doing 2 a year and I'm like, this is way too much. I did New York City and Boston back to back. And it was just wild. But I really had a lot of fun because I did different workouts and different variations of stuff.
Yeah.
But one of the best things I did was my easy runs have gotten so much easier. And I think people tend to forget that like your easy runs need to be easy.
Yeah.
And that is like the core of every training I've ever seen any elite do, anybody else. And you can learn. I mean, I know that probably like a year or two ago, I wasn't doing that. I was running at like an 8:30 when my easy runs needed to be in the 9s. And so now when I go for easy run, I'm like nothing above a 9, or below a 9.
Right. Yeah.
But I think for me, it's just mental health. I need it. And combined with therapy, I'm a better human for it.
Yes, absolutely.
I have to move my body. And I know when I sit and I don't do that, I just feel like crap.
It is. It's a very down feeling.
Yeah.
So that's good to keep the body in motion.
Yeah.
And all the good stuff.
Yeah. Sorry, Eric. The water's very loud.
I was wandering off there.
I mean, Erica and Eric do this virtually. At least we get to sit in the same room together and do it.
This is true.
That is very fun.
This
is like
delightful.
A live podcast? No, it's not live, but
I mean, yeah, we could pretend it's live. I mean, we're
we have an
recording.
audience.
We're recording live.
I'm a live studio audience. Should have some fake clapping in the background, like in the 90s
Eric,
sitcoms.
Can you add a clapping? Thank you.
We appreciate that.
Much,
Thank you so much.
You are appreciated.
That's great. All right. Eric is helping me with a project, though, which is so much fun. So I'm actually going to start my own podcast.
Yes. I know who's the first guest is.
Not you coming on with your koalas. My God. Yeah, I am going to start it. I've actually been working on it for like a year at this point, but
I'm so excited.
I have the first, I want to say like 40 episodes already planned out.
Wow.
I have the first couple like scripted out. I worked a second job for 7 months, so that's what I did when I was working a second job and I had downtime.
Hey, fair enough.
So yeah, it's going to be called Run Your Mind, and it's going to be focused more on mental health and talking a lot about running, but also about other topics, relationships, just different things that, have to do with, running and mental health.
Well, probably things that run throughout your mind throughout the day.
Correct. Yeah.
There's your tagline.
Yeah. There you go. I love that. Marketing genius right over here. My own wife.
Just
I
here
love
to
it.
help.
But yeah, so Eric's been helping me a little bit kind of
that's
with it. And I
awesome.
think he's going to, have a little bit of a piece of it and just kind of help me navigate the waters of running a podcast because it is a little tricky. And
that's very different. I love this for you.
It is very different. But I did get some good feedback from mine when talking about mental health and my story.
Yeah.
I do think it is a very taboo subject that we don't talk about enough, even though it's 2024.
Yes.
I think we all have some sort of like trauma, mental health.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Not issue, but, issues of we need to talk about stuff. And I think a lot of us are afraid of doing that.
Yes. Yep.
I know since COVID, therapists have been more sought out,
yes,
which has been great. There's
love.
waiting lists. I
Yeah.
love that for people. I think therapy, no matter what you talk to your therapist about, is so healthy because they can navigate you and give you the tools that you need to be successful.
Yep.
I know that I've been seeing my therapist for 2 years and I'm not the same human I was 2 years ago or even 6 months ago. So I think it's so beneficial and they give you these different avenues of dealing with different issues on dealing with a difficult person that could be giving you a hard time for a while or kids. I mean, I talked to her about being a parent and, I feel guilty. What do I do? And she's like, well, you're a good parent because you feel guilty or you feel like you're worrying about being a good parent. And so I just think that there's a lot of different, especially as moms, and we put a lot of stuff on ourselves as moms.
Yes.
So I think it's, therapy doesn't, I don't remember if I said this in the last podcast, so if I did, Eric can just edit it out. But there was a person I was in a meeting and I said I had an appointment, but it was 5 minutes and it was on telehealth.
Yeah.
And I said I had a therapy appointment and they laughed at me and I was very offended by that.
Yes,
and I said, why are you
hurtful.
laughing? And I'm like, if your leg is broken, you're going to go fix your leg. If there's something going on in your head, whether it be you had a crappy day at work and you need to talk about it.
Yeah.
Okay. What's the difference?
Yeah.
I really don't see the difference. So, but yeah. So I have a list of guests that I would like to bring on and talk about some good subjects.
Oh,
and
good.
I do want to do one with you and talk about what it's like to have a good friendship. And, I think that that's something that needs to be talked about a little bit. And that for mental health is really good because you need that person in your life that holds you accountable, which you've done for me in the past. I've done it for you. And having those difficult conversations, but overcoming that stuff and being able to, I don't know, just come out on the other end and say, okay, I'm not mad.
Yeah.
But thank you for telling me what I needed to hear in that moment, even though I didn't want to hear it.
Right. Yes. Yep.
So,
it's true. We all need it.
That'll be probably one of the first 2 episodes.
I love it.
So you guys can stay tuned for that. That's going to be fun.
I can't wait.
Yeah. But I think that was all we had.
I think
so. All of our check boxes. I think we need to go to bed because it's 8 o'clock at night.
It's going to be time for us to sign off because
But we want to thank you guys for listening in and listening to us ramble for an hour.
Yeah,
and
I hope
Erica
you
and Eric will be back next time. I think Erica was in flying.
She was
Cincinnati.
Yes. So
she was running
good luck,
Flying
Erica.
Pig. So we hope you had a great race and you killed it out there and. 6-star Erica.
Yes.
Got her 6-star.
Just knocking off some more marathons.
That's right. Just
no big deal.
That's fine. She's just a badass. So, and then I think we were just giving Eric the week off, so I can add more runs for him.
Yes, absolutely.
So he can not
give him some good ones.
That's right. Mm-hmm. Now, usually if he's being sassy, I give him a really good one.
Yes. Yeah, you never mess with your
Although
coach.
he did run across the Atlantic Ocean.
Oh, I love that story. That was wild. Gosh, I'm such an awe, Eric.
Right? He did a 60K across the ocean. Like
just no big deal. It's a random, Friday.
It was wild. His watch doesn't know. He's on the fritz. I don't know what happened. So.
Oh, that's great.
But, all right, guys, thank you so much for listening, and we'll catch you next time.
All right, bye.
3, 2, 1.
What's next?
He's going to have to edit that
Yeah,
out.
yeah, he is.
He's going to be like, you
Sorry,
guys are
Eric.
ridiculous. And this is the clip he's going to play, by the way. I just know him at this point.
Oh, man. Yes, yes. So this is like a hot topic, red button subject. Everybody's like, ooh, it's downhill. That doesn't count. But let's like step it back a minute.
All the kids are in on this.
Okay.
So now they're all singing, you used to call me on my bird phone. So his
That's
daughter
good.
was like, all right, where are we? 43 minutes. All right.
It's
All right. We've been doing it for 43 minutes.
Okay.
So
Time flies when you're having fun.
it sure does. Time flies when you're really having fun and you're taking over for a podcast with like a script that we made up ourselves.
Yes, yeah. This is totally impromptu.
Impromptu. I have a little bit of notes.
Yeah,
But not
like,
nothing really
this is
terrible.
This is a tiny snippet.
I had on
into
here
our relationship.
why we run.
Oh, why we run. There's so many reasons.